Hey there, it's your boy Foxy, back for more relationship stories. Update. Am I the idiot for not putting my mom in a nursing home? Original post. I 19 male, live with my dad 53 male, brothers 17 male and 15 male, and my mom 43 female. My mom is the most beautiful soul ever, always there for us, encouraged us in whatever dream or goal we had. But 2 years ago, my mom suffered a major stroke. She fought hard to learn to be able to walk and talk again, and we were with her every step of the way. Things were going great until this past year because my mom now has unknown neurological disorders that renders her paralyzed to at times almost a vegetative state. In between those times she's fine, but can't be left alone. My dad is a truck driver but comes home every weekend, and we have a nurse who helps during the day while we're at school or work. Then I was offered a full ride at one of our country's top universities when I graduated. My family, friends, and my girlfriend was so excited about it, but none as much as my mom. I was excited too, but I just couldn't do it. I couldn't leave my mom's care on just my dad and brothers. My girlfriend thinks I'm sick because I have zero problem feeding my mom, changing her diaper, bathing her, dressing her, carrying her outside to sit in her chair. Neither does my dad or brothers. My girlfriend recently told my mom that she was destroying my life, and it would be best if she went to a home where others could deal with her. My mom sat us all down crying and apologized to us for being a burden. Told us she was going to look at homes so we could be free to live our lives. When we finally found out why she was saying this, Dad lost it. I called my girlfriend and told her to stay the heck away from me and my family, that she was a cold-hearted witch who belongs in hell. She called me a sick pervert, and now I have people talking about how I'm in an inappropriate relationship with my mom. I'm still angry because my mom is hurting and depressed. None of us want her in a home. But if it's really what mom wants, are we being selfish if we don't put her in one? Now for the top comments before reading the updates. Not the idiot, your hopefully ex-girlfriend was so far out of line that the line was a dot to her. That said, your mom's condition is a burden. She can't help it, nobody can. She isn't a burden, but her condition is. She's in no state to be taken care of by a family that needs their own lives. There are facilities and professionals for that, and I think all of you should sit down and talk this through as a family. It's nobody's business to tell someone how they feel about the situation. I hated my aunts for telling me to put my mom in a home when she got sick. I didn't ask for anybody's opinion, and didn't ask for help in any way, shape, or form. My mom passed earlier this year, and I won't ever talk to her family again for this reason. Caretakers obviously know what situation they're in, and some decide they'll take it so they can be with their loved ones. My mom would have been horrified if she understood how she was living in the end, but I have no regrets, as most caretakers that I've met in therapy and support groups don't. Nobody needs an outsider's opinion on their family and what should be done with them. Mind your business. Your girlfriend is a complete jerk. You need to take the dream university. I can promise you that more than anything in the world, your mom wants you to have your future. That has been her dream for the past 19 years. Seeing you succeed will give her more peace and happiness than you could imagine. I agree with the first part. But also, I wonder if OP could reach out to the dream school and ask for deferral, either until mom is more stable, which sounds unlikely, or until they can get better support networks in place for her. OP, dad, and brothers sound like they're pushing as hard as they can, and like the whole family is just made of love. And I wonder if OP would truly feel comfortable putting home to the back of the mind, and truly enjoying the experience if they had to leave now. Not allowing your mom to make her own decision on this would be the only idiotic thing you have done or could do. She's been through hell. Do not deny her the agency and respect to make this decision for herself. You do not have to agree with her choice or her reasons in order to support the decision of an adult you love. Mom's only making a decision about going into a care home out of guilt due to the hopefully ex-girlfriend. So this is a coerced decision, not a fair one to make. Small update. Dad's taking a couple weeks off. I sent him a link to this so he could read all the comments. Granted, ultimately any decisions will be made by him and mom, but he wants us all to sit down together and talk. I do want to let y'all know that I'm still going to school, but instead of an Ivy League, I'm going to University of Arkansas. My middle brother Jake is studying diesel mechanics, and Johnny the youngest has a ways to go before graduating high school and joining the Navy. Girlfriend is now in the X category. I'll let y'all know what happens after dad and mom talk with us. And now for the full update. So in the span of just a few days, a lot has happened. 1. Mom found my post and commented. She also found out that my ex had accused me of having an inappropriate relationship with my mom. 2. Yes, I got into Harvard, but I gave that up to help care for mom. I now go to University of Arkansas. My dreams of becoming a doctor hasn't changed, just the path. So Dad came home and took Mom out. I guess they had fun because they left frowning and came home stupid smiling. This morning the smiles dropped when we got a knock on the door. Apparently, Mom invited my viper of an ex and her family over. In a true hostess fashion, Mom was very nice with the small talk for a few minutes, then lowered the boom. Apparently, a few years ago Mom took care of ex's grandparents in a nursing home. She flat out asked if my ex thought Mom was being inappropriate with her grandparents because she changed them, bathed them, and helped dress them. The look on my ex's parents' faces was priceless. When asked what Mom was talking about, Mom explained that my ex was going around telling people that I was in a relationship with her because of me taking care of her. They thought we had broken up because I had cheated. When her dad found out what she'd been saying about my mom and I, he apologized to us and then lost it on her. After they left, we had a family meeting. Mom said she wants to go to a home because she doesn't want any of us to have resentment for giving up being normal teens or our dreams for her. She also feels like she has become a hardship on Dad. Dad just looked at her and informed her that her place was by his side. Unless it was unsafe for her physically, then he'd just move into a nursing home with her. As for me, I told her I'm fine with where I am. My brothers agreed too. We go out with friends, though most of our friends prefer to hang at our house. We go on dates, we're normal teens. We did come to a compromise that we'd revisit the issue in a year. Unfortunately, the stress has caused an issue, so Mom is at the spa, aka the hospital tonight with Dad. Thanks again, everyone. Your mom is such a badass, saying all that to your ex-girlfriend in front of your family. I'm not a badass, but thank you, dear, for saying that. Makes me feel good. Showed Pops, and he said he should get me a leather jacket I can wear on the new bike he got. I can be his badass biker babe. You have a wonderful life, sweetie. Are you the mom? I didn't know you as of 2 minutes ago, but I am now madly in love with you. This small tidbit about you and your family's life is more than enough to understand why they want so much to take proper care of you. I wish you all the very best. Yes, and Mama, I hope you follow your dreams and achieve them. Remember, the roads of life may be bumpy and full of obstacles, but you can still reach your goals. The stars can be reached, sweetie. The only one who can hold you back is yourself. Lots of love. I want to be your mom when I grow up. OP's mom, you're a beast, and you've clearly raised a trio of great boys. Best of luck to all y'all, wherever and however you guys choose to go, and may your ex have triple fudge shards in an all-white outfit. She's special. Even now, if my ex showed up needing help, my mom would help. I hope wherever your destination is, you know there is many roads to get there. And as Mom says, the journey is half the fun. Good for you and your dad and brothers for knowing and understanding what your own limits are and what you know you are all able to handle. Your mom sounds like an amazing lady, and you are all lucky to have each other. We learned by watching Mom and Dad. Dad would wake us up on a Saturday to go to Lowe's before they opened, because a neighbor needed help. He'd load us up in his rig, buy everything we'd need. Mom would meet us with groceries. She'd be cooking up a storm while we built ramps, widened doorways, and installed safety equipment. Sometimes they wouldn't be home, so a little elf would open a door. Mom also cleaned the house. They taught us by actions to care for people by doing, not just by words. Next story. Am I wrong for calling my mom pathetic, stupid, and a terrible person? My older sister's husband passed away years ago. They have 2 sons, 12 and 11. Should probably specify that her husband passed when the boys were 6 and 7. My sister is single by choice and has stated that she has 0 plans on dating or marrying anyone. She says she only loves and trusts one man, and that her love life isn't worth the risk of her kids getting hurt. Well, our mom has been consistently trying to get her married to Mike. He's a lot older though, while his daughter is a lot younger. Also, he and my sister do not get along, especially since my sister is more relaxed in terms of parenting, while he's more strict. He's also made comments on how if they were to get married, he would never see her sons as his own, and he has called them competition before, but he fully expects her to raise his child. It's ridiculous. Another fun coincidence is that my oldest nephew and Mike share the same birthday. Now that her boys are older, she lets them hang out with their friends, and then when they come home, she organizes a little celebration. She loves birthdays, so she goes all out. My sister and I were decorating the house for the birthday when we got a text from Mom saying, "Come quick, urgent." We panicked and started calling, but she wasn't answering, so we quickly drove over and were greeted by tons of cars parked outside the house and lots of noise and music. Turns out, our mom threw a party for Mike and tricked my sister into coming. Our mom didn't even say hi and just went, "I have some party clothes in my room." My sister was in so much disbelief and started to cry, but our mom was still trying to usher her into the house. She just ran back to the car. My mom looked at me and went, "Can you go talk to her? Mike's gonna be so happy to see her." I don't think y'all understand how shocked I was. My mom just would not accept that my sister does not want Mike in any way. So I ended up calling my mom pathetic, stupid, and a terrible person. My mom started to cry and started to ask me what my problem was. She said that she's my mother and that I need to have some freaking respect. Besides, this isn't even about you. I just rolled my eyes and walked off, but my dad heard and started yelling at me, saying that I'd better apologize or else. My parents don't even get along and our other siblings said that our mom's getting a lot of support, so now I'm wondering if I was the idiot for what I said. Am I? Harshly worded appropriate comments. Your sister should be telling your mother to f off with the importuning. One no should be enough, even for her. And your mother's methods bite the big one. I'd be livid and likely calling her far worse. Your sister is responsible for deciding when she's capable of trusting another person in her life, and only your sister. If it's been years, perhaps some concern is justified, and suggestions to get help to deal with loss appropriate, but not move on. Here's someone. Not wrong. My sister has said no multiple times, which is why she could only cry in frustration and disbelief. Also, while I was sort of concerned, I don't think there is a need for concern, if that makes sense. My sister could date if she wanted to and all that, but she just does not feel the need to. She is, according to herself, pretty much content. As I said, that last is entirely on your sister to determine, and I'm glad to hear she's content with life as it is for now. She's being far nicer to your mother than I would be by simply leaving as she has. Your mother has to know that she's actively damaging her relationship. Not the idiot. Gross. What the heck is wrong with your mom? This guy sounds horrible for your sister. The guy sounds horrible for anyone. He is. He also got into a really bad argument with her eldest son a couple months ago and called him terrible things. Just a weird and strange man overall. Info: did your mom really interrupt your sister setting up for her own kid's birthday and expect your sister to stay at Mike's birthday and miss her son's? Yes. Is this a change from past behavior? Is there a chance this is a sign of early dementia? Or does Mike just have a crapload of money or something? Nah, she's always tried to control our lives, she's just never been this stubborn. Last story. Am I wrong for telling my husband not to co-sign on his ex-wife's house? I, 34 female, met Steven, 49 male, 2.5 years ago. It was an unexpected love match, but I found him to be funny and kind and charming, and we had loads in common. We got married about a year ago, and everything's been great between us. Steven was married to Tiffany, 49 female, for 7 years, and they divorced 11 years ago, and they share a 12-year-old son, Taylor. Tiffany and Steven both worked in healthcare and met in school. He's a doctor, she was a nurse. Their relationship ended when Tiffany admitted to infidelity and an affair shortly after Taylor was born. Steven and Tiffany divorced, and she lived with the man she had an affair with for 9 years. She had 1 child with him, and they have since broken up. She then met another man and had another child with him. They have also since broken up. This is relevant because several years ago, Tiffany opted to let her nursing license lapse and to stay home with her kids. The 3 fathers of her kids all pay child support, with Steven paying the largest amount due to his income. He has no problem with child support and loves his son. The issue arose after Tiffany's last breakup. She moved into a rental and then tried to get a mortgage approved to buy a house for her and the kids. But because Tiffany doesn't work and only has child support as her income, she cannot qualify to get a mortgage on her own. She has asked Steven to co-sign and is laying on a heavy guilt trip about it being what's best for his son and that his son needs a home with lake access. I don't know why. We live on a lake and Taylor is rarely in the water when he's with us. The home she's currently renting is lovely, spacious, and she can afford it, and Taylor has never expressed unhappiness about where they currently live when he's with us. When Steven told me this, I flat out told him not to do it. Not only do I not trust Tiffany not to destroy his credit, I also don't understand why she can't go out and get her license and start working again. There is a nursing shortage in our area, and they are generously paid. She has family nearby that will happily care for the kids. We'll take Taylor more often, and if she's unwilling to do this, then why not continue renting? Steven told me I was being harsh on her, and that it's understandable that she wants to own her own home. He's also said that he doesn't think she would damage his credit by defaulting on the mortgage. I was married before Steven, but I don't have kids. That being said, it cost me thousands to make sure my ex-husband would never have access to my finances again. Am I the fool for thinking that co-signing on a house with his ex is a bad move, and that she should go get a job if she wants to own a home? Now for the top comments before reading the update. No, this is a disaster waiting to happen. The only logical answer doesn't get more cut and dry than this. If, and that's a big if, he really wants to be involved in the ex's house situation, maybe it would be better if he bought and owned the house alone. X can rent from him so he knows everything will be paid in time. Rent could even be deducted from child support. But it's still a risk for him after his son becomes 18. Except don't deduct from child support, but move the money back and forth, or it's gonna look like OP's husband is suddenly paying a lot less child support, which could end up very badly depending on where they live. Not wrong, it's messy, and signing the mortgage means he will have to pay it, especially since he won't be on the house. It means it's all risk and no reward. It's a nice house on a lake. Unless OP and Steven are living in an area of the country that is uniformly distressed, this house will be quite in demand. And now for the update. I appreciate the many responses. Steven and I had a long talk about this when he got home from his conference. We discussed the issues this raises, and we both agreed it's a bad idea that would strain our relationship. He admitted that he was concerned that Tiffany would use his refusal to alienate his son, but also knows Taylor is old enough to come directly to him now if he needs to. He also apologized for worrying me and assured me he would have never moved forward without my consent, but wanted me to be in the know of what Tiffany was up to. I thanked him for being honest with me about what was happening, and knew I would have felt deceived if he hadn't told me, even if he was saying no to her. We did discuss the option of buying and renting the home to her, but the idea of maybe being forced to evict her due to non-payment made us both pour another drink. In the end, he messaged his ex that while he will always be there for Taylor, he can't in good faith co-sign on a mortgage for her. She saw it and left him on red. This is about as good an outcome as I could hope for, and my husband and I were able to validate each other's feelings and ultimately come to a decision that we feel is right for us. Thank you again for your responses, and it's been an interesting day reading all of them. I am now going to return to my quiet lurker profile.